We live in a magical time, one in which the weirdest internet memes and stories can be repeated on live TV during a presidential debate. During that recent debate, Trump brought up the Haitian migrant crisis, and how apparently they're eating people's house pets in the town of Springfield, Ohio.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
Now, if you're not a Zoomer, you should be no stranger to this kind of story. The 80s and 90s, and certainly earlier than that, had a common set of cultural jokes about how all manner of street animals, cats, dogs, rats, pigeons, whatever, would be entirely absent in a city's Chinatown, because Chinese people will eat fucking anything, and they brought those habits over when immigrating to the West. I think that kind of joke's been phased out now because it's considered racist, but it's still funny to me. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know too much about Haiti's situation, only the bits and pieces that occasionally come to prominence in the Western news, plus a bit of basic history. I do recall there was an earthquake a few years back, which basically turned the country into a total shithole and set it on the path of complete anarchy, where by early 2024, the government had become so weakened that street gangs were actually able to challenge the state's authority. The TLDR of that story is, on August 14th, 2021, Haiti was rocked by a 7.2 earthquake, spawning tsunamis and destroying critical infrastructure. A gang war had already been ongoing since 2020, but the government's reach was so diminished by the earthquake, their influence stretched so thin, that the gangs just began to take power themselves in certain locations. By 2022, the gang violence had come to encompass critical infrastructure, including a vital oil terminal used for both domestic power and foreign exports, which basically crippled the entire country. The government simply did not have the ability to retake the territory, requesting foreign intervention from America and Canada. They were given some military equipment, but not boots on the ground. On March 2nd, 2024, the gangs attacked the two largest jails in Haiti, releasing all of the prisoners within, including both violent criminals and a squad of Colombian commandos who had assassinated Haitian leaders in 2021. During this attack, the Prime Minister of Haiti was in Kenya, begging the Kenyans to give him 1,000 troops that he could return home with to restore order. After the fall of the prisons, the Prime Minister resigned and fled to the United States. Meanwhile, back home, a gang leader known as Barbecue released a video where he declared that the violence will not stop until the government's been overthrown. Now, here is where we make the leap from verified historic fact to internet memes and unconfirmed weirdness. Wall Street Silver posted videos of the Haitian Revolution in action, with the claim that the gang members were cannibals. Yeah, a gang led by a man named Barbecue is apparently quite literally barbecuing people. Now, there was no cannibalism in that video that Wall Street Silver attached with his claim, but there is this article from the Daily Express, where an on-the-ground journalist describes what he's witnessed. The revolutionaries are apparently cutting up fallen police officers with machetes, some of them while they were still alive, and he claims to have witnessed the revolutionaries eat some of their fallen opponents. The journalist did make it clear that cannibalism is not widespread, contrary to what Wall Street Silver implied. However, that it is happening, and he believes it's happening as a broader campaign of fear, where the gangs are indiscriminately raping and killing in order to both demoralize their opposition and to let people know that the government is no longer the legitimate authority of Haiti. Of course, you know how it is in a situation like this. As soon as you hear about a sensationalistic claim like cannibalism, the internet goes fucking wild. For example, this post of Dom Lucas went viral, where he claimed to have footage of the Haitian cannibal gang eating body parts, and people jumped all over this shit back in March. However, the video has since been deleted, because it turns out it actually was not from the current uprising. Now, the video is still from Haiti, but it's actually from different gangs eating different people from several years ago. And of course, it is dumb fuck progressives who are trying to redirect away from this shit. In Haiti, as is in Palestine, the West gets away with the most obscene hit-the-right propaganda to justify its violent agenda. You know what? Fuck you, dude. The gangs have overthrown the government and they're indiscriminately killing people. I don't care about your weird crocodile tears about how all government use of force is Hitler. The situation has devolved so much that the only good course of action at this point is for, like, an invading army to restore order and execute the gangs. And this first world squeamishness from the leftoids is not something that anybody needs to listen to right now. Of course, the right-wingers also have their own axe to grind. As order in Haiti continued to break down, Haitian migrants began setting off to the United States from boats. Border Patrol in Florida was told that people fleeing from Haiti would probably not be sent back home, since they obviously qualify for refugee status given the state of their country, and that preparations need to be made to process them. The rightoids nonetheless declared these people to be illegal migrants, even though refugee status means that they aren't illegals. Nonetheless, there is still a legitimate concern here. The governments of Western countries do have an obligation to vet the people coming in, even if they're coming in from a disaster. For example, the West shouldn't be taking in people who committed violent crimes, then locked away in prison, then broken out by revolutionaries, and then happened to find their way onto a boat headed for Florida. Processing people applying for refugee status means finding out who they are and rejecting their application if necessary. I've seen many posts of rightoids demanding that the military be deployed to blockade Haiti, and any migrant boat should be considered an invasion force and fired on. And I've also seen many posts of leftoids screaming that America is evil and fucked over Haiti and every other country, and black people need reparations. So even just an attempt to process these people is racism, and America should just lay back and let itself get overrun. Neither of these positions is acceptable. For some dumbfuck reason, during all this shit going down, a YouTuber named Your Fellow Arab decided to go to Haiti to do on-the-ground streaming, because fuck it, why not? That's one way to go viral. He posted on Twitter, going on another one of those trips. If I die, thanks for watching what I've put out. If I live, all glory to God. His plan was to try and interview Barbecue, but his Twitter account went silent on March 12th. By March 27th, it came out that he had been kidnapped by one of the Haitian gangs, because of course he fucking had. Here's his final video before he vanished.
I just really wanted to show you guys the view from this hotel. We're the only people in this entire hotel. Everybody else is workers, employees, etc. because no one's allowed into the fucking country. So there's no tourists here, okay, other than those Royal Caribbean guys. But I have the entire hotel to myself. Look at that view, man. You got the mountain range. You got the sun setting. Okay, you have entire Cap Haitian over here. And we've got a pool, which I wasn't gonna take advantage of, but how many times in your life are you the only person in an entire hotel?
Now, he did end up making it back to the States, and he put out a video about his experiences that is certainly worth watching. But the memes that came out of the story were funny as fuck. At one point, people were saying that Barbecue had fucking ate him, and now that Sneeko is going to Haiti, people are hoping he gets eaten too. But all of this is just backstory. It's all just flavor to what Donald Trump claimed during the presidential debate, that Haitian migrants were eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. So let's bring it all together. Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, mentioned in a speech recently that the town of Springfield, Ohio, with a population of around 60,000 people, had seen an influx of 20,000 immigrants, mostly from Haiti, and that beyond putting strain on social services or driving down wages for low-end jobs, they were also eating local wildlife, including house pets. Now, a lot of these immigrants have come in over the past 4 years, making that exaggerated belief that 20,000 Haitian criminals and revolutionaries boarded boats back in March, made landfall in Florida, and they all moved to Ohio in the past couple of months in order to fulfill their evil plot of eating your house cat. That view is false. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that there's no problems here, and that all complaints are simply racist. That's also false. Forget about the animal eating part for a minute. A town of 60,000 taking in 20,000 Haitians, that means that like 1/4 of the town is now from a foreign culture with different notions that don't mesh with the original population. And also, being a refugee population, they need to be supported by social services, at least in the short term, which is a strain on the local community. It's just too many immigrants of one type in one location, making integration very difficult. And the Springfield Town Council has reported that their community resources have been strained to the breaking point with all of these new responsibilities. The eating pets thing, though, that originated from an anonymous Facebook post on the local Springfield, Ohio Crime and Information Group. The woman who made that post claimed that her neighbor's cat went missing, and that they later saw the cat hanging from a tree branch in a Haitian's yard, skinned and carved up, like you would with a deer for butchering. The post then goes on to claim that they're doing it to people's dogs, as well as wild geese and ducks at the local park. So far, this is the only source of the claim, this anonymous Facebook post. End Wokeness posted a picture of a Haitian refugee in Columbus, the Ohio state capital 45 minutes east of Springfield, carrying a duck home from the park. They also repeated that cats and dogs claim in the post, which still could be real, but we just don't know yet. Nonetheless, even if the pets thing is still unconfirmed, people living in Springfield continue to speak out and describe the problems they've personally had with Haitian refugees ruining their community. Here's one man speaking at a town council meeting.
These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like,
here's a woman living in Springfield describing what she's witnessed.
Yes, we have a Haitian Creole immigration issue. In the last couple of years, they have dropped off 20 to 30,000 immigrants. The last year to 6 months has been insane. They are dropping them off by the busload. When I say busload, I mean the Greyhound busload full. They are taking them to the gas stations and dropping them off by the busload. But the big thing that I wanted to address, have I personally seen any videos or public reports of the Haitian Creole community stealing cats and dogs and eating them? No. The video that is going viral of the woman who killed and ate the cat is not from Springfield. Do I know for a fact, and have I seen with my own eyes, okay, a Haitian Creole immigrant killing ducks? Yes. They are killing ducks at our reservoir and at our parks. They are chopping their heads off and they are cooking them up. They are also gutting animals up at the reservoir and roasting them, goats, pigs, that kind of thing, which, you know, obviously isn't illegal, but the way that they're doing it and leaving things is just ridiculous. They have completely trashed our reservoir. I mean, overloaded with trash. It's really sad. There's 20 to 30 tents out there that they are sleeping in, and again, just completely trashed. The driving is a huge issue. There's probably 4 to 5 plus accidents a day of the Haitian Creole immigrants solely. They're running into any and everything. I mean that. Trash cans, poles, libraries, garages, houses, flipping cars in the middle of the street, going down the street the wrong way, going down one way is the wrong way. It's really bad.
Here's a separate town council meeting. This time the speaker's a guy who works with the homeless population.
The homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced because I'm that guy. Rob, you know. For 25 years, I've worked with the homeless in this community. You know, a lot of people don't know because I'm not the guy out there blowing the horn. Because it ain't about me. It's the Jesus in me that goes out there and does it. Trust me, there's days I'm tired. But I'll get into homeless camps that nobody in a suit and tie will walk into. None. They trust me because I've never let them down. You know, and guys, if you don't think it's here right now, in October, we are getting ready to hit a wall here. There is not any relief for the homeless. The homeless people in this community are not the people you think they are. The squatters that aren't happening. It's not there. There's veterans. Come see me. I'm not real hard to find. Ask anybody on the street. They'll tell you how to get a hold of me. I'll take you there. And no, they don't want your toothpaste and your peanut butter sandwiches. They want you to come up with a solution to why they're displaced, why they lived in a house. I personally know, and I'll testify under oath, my hand to God, somebody that lost their house. They were there 7 years. The landlord said, hey, I need you to move out, find a temporary place. I'm going to remodel it, and then you can come back.
Thank you, Baron.
It was a lie. They moved him out, tripled the rent.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you for
the
speaking.
money.
Of course, leave it to a rightoid to take what is a win for their position and try to make it even worse by lying about it, turning it into an L. That third video was posted by Greg Price, a right-wing Twitter account, with the claim that a landlord told somebody to leave under the guise of completing renovations, only to replace them with a Haitian and charge the government triple the rent. But that is not what the video clip said. We just watched it. It said, separately, that Haitian refugees get vouchers for housing, and that one guy was kicked out of his rental for renovations, and then the price went up by 3 times the amount. These are separate claims, and Greg combining them to make them look even worse is a lie. I swear to fucking God, it is a universal rule that leftoids deny there's a problem and they attack you for noticing it, while rightoids massively overplay their hand and lie about the real problems in an attempt to make them look even worse. And yes, there are many examples of leftoids denying the problem outright. There's nothing like some retards saying that human lives are more important than your cat's life, or that there's actually nothing wrong with Haitian dog barbecue and they want to try it, or that you're a racist if you object to a Haitian refugee chopping off goose necks down at the local park, because you buy chicken from the grocery store. So it's basically the same thing, even though the birds being killed by these refugees are in fact a protected animal in Ohio, and it's highly illegal to just kill them without the proper hunting permits. But I guess those rules only apply to fucking citizens nowadays. Meanwhile, a BuzzFeed headline went viral claiming that Haitian immigrants are good for Springfield because they are curbing the out-of-control feral cat population. This isn't a real article, you can't find it on BuzzFeed. It seems to be a fake made by the right-leaning comedian Chrissy Mayer. But the reason it's a believable fake is because there are leftoids who do say this sort of thing. When the leftoids keep denying it's a problem until they can't anymore, and then claim it's actually good, it becomes believable that leftoids would in fact write this sort of article. So when a rightoid makes a fake article that sounds outrageous, it's believed because of the previous outrageous positions of the leftoids. Both of them need to be slapped upside the fucking head. Eventually, people began to post proof that it wasn't just ducks and geese from the park, but actual pets that the Haitian immigrants were eating. Okay, let's look over what came out. The first video was posted by Chris Rufo, with the caption, "We have discovered that migrants are, in fact, eating cats in Ohio. We have verified with multiple witnesses and visual cross-references that African migrants in Dayton, the next city over from Springfield, barbecued these cats last summer."
Yo, what is this they got on the grill?
Is that, you think it's cats?
Man, listen, man. There go a cat right there. His ass better get missing, man. Look like his homies on the grill, man. What the fuck?
Okay, if we forget the fact that these were migrants from some unnamed African country and not Haitian refugees, and if we forget that this is from 2023 and is unrelated to the boat Haitians fleeing from barbecue civil war, and if we assume that these are actually dead cats, even though they have no front legs and no tail, and their back legs actually are shaped more like bird legs, and they actually resemble plucked birds more than they do cats, okay, putting all of these discrepancies aside, we might actually finally have confirmation that somebody is eating a cat. Maybe. But probably not, these are likely just chickens. Or maybe some park ducks or something. A second video was uploaded to Twitter claiming to show Bosnians cooking a dog in their backyard. Putting aside the fact that Bosnians aren't Haitians, in fact there's a whole ocean of difference between them, this animal isn't a dog, this is a lamb. This person got community noted for his stupidity, and in fact was so utterly destroyed, he began to hide replies to his post, pointing out that this video does not in fact show a dead dog being spit roasted. A third video initially went viral under the same story, but that actually ended up being from Houston, where the police had determined that coyotes had unfortunately killed and eaten a number of people's house cats. And just for good measure, remember that picture of a black guy walking down the street holding a goose? That turned out to be a black American born in the States, clearing away roadkill, and not a Haitian migrant bringing home dinner. And finally, J.D. Vance eventually admitted on CNN that he and Trump deliberately stretched the truth of the stories they were telling in order to get the mainstream media to report on small towns like Springfield, who had taken in a lot of migrants, and the suffering that their native populations had experienced.
The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Public policy.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it.
If for some reason you buy his excuse that by create a story he actually went to shine a light on Springfield, and he actually lied about nothing at all, well, Vance is a smooth talker sometimes. Listen to him on MSNBC subtly shift the goalpost from pets back to geese when pushed.
Local authorities now say there have been no credible reports of migrants hurting pets or animals. And in fact, neo-Nazis are now taking credit, frankly, for pushing these rumors mainstream. Why are you continuing to double and triple down on these baseless claims?
Well, two important points here, Christian. First of all, I have heard firsthand from multiple constituents, people who made 911 calls a month ago, a year ago, who were making these complaints. I trust my constituents more than I do the American media that has shown no interest in what's happened in Springfield until we started sharing cat memes on the internet, which is disgraceful that the American media ignored this town. And that's the most important part. Kamala Harris's open border, Kristen, has led to skyrocketing housing costs in Springfield, rising rates of crime, rising rates of communicable diseases. They have dropped 20,000 immigrants into a town of 40,000, and it's caused a host of social problems. And we should be talking about why Kamala Harris has done this to this small town, and the media and the Democrats ignored it for an entire year. Kristen, I was talking about this on the Senate Banking Committee months ago. Nobody would pay attention to it until we started sharing the 911 calls of people in Springfield saying the migrants are eating the geese. I think that's really, really shameful that no one cared about it or paid attention to it.
So here's the thing. I'm not some weird vegan moralist. I don't think eating animals is inherently bad. I understand that other cultures eat animals that we wouldn't eat and vice versa. And I'm not going to clutch my pearls if somebody likes to eat cat or dog. Here's the problems I have with it though. 1. This story is framed like they're not just eating random cats and dogs, but they're eating your pets. That's not okay because a house pet is owned by somebody else, and you can't just steal somebody else's pet and eat it. It's not yours. 2. There absolutely is a cultural difference between hunting a duck or a goose in the woods and killing it at the local park and beheading it. Even putting aside those legal restrictions on what animals can be hunted and when they can be hunted and where and what permits you need, we still have our own cultural preference regarding the woods being a space for hunting and the local park not being a space for hunting. This is still our home, and our cultural preferences should be respected here, just like how I wouldn't shame a Chinese person for eating a dog in China because that is their cultural preference over there. I understand the libertarian style, he's not harming anyone argument, but frankly, I don't care. Because maintenance of public spaces and goods requires a communal buy-in, and it's not wrong for a community to come together and tell an out-of-line individual, no, you're actually not going to behead a wild duck in the park. This is a space for leisure and aesthetics for all of us to enjoy. It's not for hunting and butchering. 3. There is still no solid evidence that pets are being eaten. There are enough reports of ducks and geese being eaten, so I believe that, fine, that's covered in point 2. But pets? I still don't buy it. The people telling these stories are purposely throwing up some smoke, hoping that you will make connections that probably don't exist if they just tell the stories vaguely enough, taking advantage of your pattern recognition skills in order to dupe you into believing something that there is no proof for. And this is not a case of it's not happening and it's good that it's happening coming from me. It would absolutely not be good if it's happening, see point 1. And if credible proof comes out that pets are being eaten, I have no problem being very strictly on the anti-pet eating side. The issue is, I don't see any proof here that it's actually happening, and denying that it's happening due to a lack of evidence is not the same thing as approving of it if and when that evidence finally arrives. Hopefully, you can now see how all of these little stories and backstories tie together, how the edges between them blur just enough to let concepts leak through, ultimately leading to Trump making the claim during the presidential debate, specifically that Haitian illegal migrants are eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. There is no evidence of this. It still could be happening. It might even be plausible that it's happening, given all of the other surrounding evidence that points broadly in that direction. But it is ultimately still unconfirmed. And if you have to stretch stories and blur the edges like these guys did, at the end of the day, you're just lying. Until more credible proof comes out, it's safe to say that Trump and Vance made up at least the core viral part of the story, that illegal Haitian migrants were eating pets in Springfield, and that the people who contributed to this story's spread online are either liars or just idiots. That's not to say there isn't any problem with refugee communities. There certainly can be. But if you lie about what's going on, then you're overplaying your hand. Like I said, leftoids deny there's a problem, while rightoids lie about how bad the problem actually is. And both of them are making things worse.